Okay. Do we have sound now? Let me know, you guys. Okay, let me know if there's sound now. I know it takes a little bit of time here. Oh, Brittany says I like that. Okay, so yes, you can hear me now, Lydia. Okay, yes, sound. Okay. Oh, and my mom's over on TikTok and saying there's no sound on, there's no sound on Facebook. Yeah, I had to. Okay, good. So thanks again, I guess, then, guys, for joining me. I know I wasn't here last night for that tornado warning we had. I'm going to take one strand of floss out here, so I'm only going to work with 3 strands. But yeah, I updated my computer, and I guess whenever I do that I have sound problems, but it doesn't tell me until I'm live with you guys, so that always kind of sucks. But alright, good. I'm glad we're here now. Well, anywho, we are working on the hedgehog again here. And we are going to do the chain stitch for the letter H's, the 2 little letter H's. And I don't know, hopefully we get pretty close to finished today, but it is a lot of chain stitching. So for one sitting, even though it doesn't look like a lot, we're just going to be filling those little shapes in, but it actually takes a little bit of time. So all right, I'm going to start with an away knot here. Oh, Catherine says, I think we may have bad weather here in Kansas tonight. Ugh. Yeah, that's scary. All right, I think I'm going to actually put this back in the hoop because you can see how my H is a little distorted. It's a little wiggly there. I think I'm just going to take it out and go put it right back in the hoop again. Like I've accidentally like stretched it out a little bit too much, so let's just plop it back in here. There, I think that's a little bit straighter. I might actually leave this a little more loose in the hoop too, because then I can use the sewing method of stitching, which makes this go a hair faster. So all right, I got my thread ready to go. I'm gonna start with an away knot just so I can weave in the end later. So that's a knot on the front, and I'm gonna start stitching, right here. So we'll have this little piece of thread here ready for to weave in later. So I'm wondering if I should actually draw the lines on here, but I think we'll just follow. I'm going to go like a hair to the inside of this line. So just to the inside, because this stitch is kind of like double thickness. So I think if I just go a hair to the inside, or like the inside edge of the line, I think hopefully we only have to do like maybe 3 rows here. I'm going to fill this with chain stitches, so I don't want to like overdo it, I guess, just because it'll take longer. So all right, I'm going to do the sewing method for this though, and for the sewing method I leave my fabric a little more loose in the hoop, and that makes it easier to go down and up in the same motion. So when you go down and up in the same motion here, that's the sewing method, and I'm coming like through my little loop. Brian says Sonic is coming along nicely. Yep, we finished him 2 nights ago. Then I wasn't on last night because we had some bad storms, and tonight I'm hoping to get as far as we can with this little chain stitch fill that we're gonna do. So the fun thing about all these outlining stitches, like I typically use this chain stitch to outline an area, but if you just put a bunch of rows next to each other, then it works as a fill, and I think it's just so cute. Okay, so there's the first row. I'm kind of thinking we might need 4 rows here. I was hoping we'd only have 3. But okay, so now I have to make a decision. I can either go back up from here and have the I mean, I'm gonna go up from here, but I can either go in the normal way of doing a chain stitch, or I can do a reverse chain stitch. If I start here and do a reverse chain stitch on the way up, all my like little loops will be in the same direction. I kind of think that will look nicer than going in the opposite direction. So we're gonna do that. So then I can go through reverse chain stitches and forward chain stitches. Gosh, actually I think I'm tempted to do this edge. Yeah, I think I'm going to do this far edge and then see if I can just fill it in with one more. Ugh, I think it might be two more, but I'm going to, since I want my stitches to be the same direction as this one, I'm going to do a reverse chain stitch, and I feel like I have a knot. There we go. So I'm going to start, we're basically going to start at the end of what we just did here. So I'm going to start with my tiny anchor stitch. And we're going to come up at like where we want our first stitch. I'm going to loop my needle. I'm going to just put my needle through that anchor stitch there. And we will then go right back in that first stitch, and that's going to be our first reverse chain stitch now. And we are going to just kind of crawl up the side here. So I'm going to swoop underneath my last stitch. And I'm actually going to try and keep them at the same height as these other ones, even though I didn't do a great job at that earlier, but we're going to see how this goes. Gosh, I still think I'm probably going to need one more row, or like two more rows in here. Ooh, I did these top ones in three. I did like the first three pretty big, and then these last three kind of small. That was maybe dumb. I don't know. What do you think? Should I try and do just one more row in here? I think I'm going to attempt just one more row in here. Let's see how it goes. I suppose I can always take it out, but I don't know. There might be a little bit of space in between, but man, I don't want to do 4 rows in here. Oh, bad weather. Caitlin says bad weather headed my way. Boo! In North Carolina, storms. Ooh, from 1 a.m. till 7 till like 7 p.m. Oh, that's a whole day. Think ours is a weak tropical storm coming from the east. Oh, okay. Ugh, that's no fun. Gina thinks I'm going to need to... I'm going to do 2 stitches down the middle, and we're going to see what it looks like. So I'm going to go in a normal chain stitch again, using the sewing method, like in and out. I just want to do like 1 or 2 to just see if it fills. Ooh, I think if I keep it pretty loose, I think I might only need 1. Oh, Brian says I use this stitch a lot. I really love this stitch. This is one of my favorites because it reminds me of crochet. It reminds me of knitting. All those other things that you need a chain stitch for. Okay, this is totally working. Even tatting has a chain. It's a little bit different than a chain stitch, but it's a term still. Ooh, gosh, I'm getting like a knot. There we go. Oh, I do still have a knot. Oh, I like twisted around that loop twice. What the heck? There we go. Sheesh, that was weird. Okay, good. This is great, though. I'm only going to need 3 for this. That makes me happy. Except for I'm going to just do two more here. I added a bunch extra in there. Ah! You guys, we have a zombie flying around here. We call box elder bugs zombies. Because they just come in the house and they're like slow motion coming at you. But this guy's flying around. Ugh. So if I freak out all of a sudden, it's because a zombie about got me. Oh, needlepoint has a chain stitch too. Yeah, I just love it. So, okay, we totally got by with just 3 rows. Thank goodness. I was thinking we'd need 4. But I think that turned out great. Let's see. Should I do horizontal chain stitches. What would be kind of cool is if we just kept it all vertical like this. Then it would be kind of like almost like a sweater, like a knit sweater. I think let's just keep them all vertical. That'll be kind of interesting. So I'm going to just do like a bunch of like single chain stitches along this edge here. Oh, a bunch of verticals. Yes, stay vertical. Okay. Ooh, I think I made that too close. Not close enough. Let's redo that. Vertical for sure. Okay. Definitely going to do that. I'm excited. Oh, no, Aline says the green eyes look great. Yeah, I think that turned out super duper fun. Okay, so we're going to do like one stitch for the full length of this H, or this like crossbar. Oop, I'm going to lose my thread here. And we're almost out of floss, so we'll have to get a new piece. Oh, yes, vertical's going to look so good. Yeah, I'm just going to do a whole pile of just vertical stitches along here. We're going to see like the top little edge where we just have, you know, close together little stitches, but I think that's fine. Who cares? After you wash this, that'll fade quite a bit. But this is really cute. I think it'll look cute on this part of the H too, the small H. So you can see I'm not pulling very tight on that. So my loops are very lazy. So that keeps it that nice big like teardrop shape, which I think always looks really cute. Okay, I think I can do, we're gonna cut it close. I think I'm gonna try and do this chain stitch and then the next one, so we'll get this bar done, because then we can start at the top here again. Oh, that one was kind of twisty. Let's see if I can shape that one a little bit more. All right, good enough. All right, I'm gonna try to get one more out of here, although it's gonna be hard to tuck in my floss, but we're gonna give it a go. We probably could have actually gotten away with 3, but we're gonna do 4 here. If I can get this. Chain stitches definitely get annoying to stitch when you don't have a lot of thread left. All right, I'm gonna try and push this guy over a little bit. Okay, I think that looks decent. It'll get squished a little bit more once we do. It's okay. It'll get squished a little bit more once we do these rows, but it's looking really cute. I love it. Oh, thanks, Bailey. I am always excited to be doing any crafting, for sure. All these little experiments, you know, all these little decisions get me excited. All right, one more weaving in, and then we'll take care of that away knot right away too. Scissors, we'll use the little pink scissors today. Okay, and then this away knot here, this was reserving our floss so we could weave it in now. So let's weave that in, and then our next piece of floss will have stitches to weave into. So we won't have to do another away knot. Ooh, I didn't really reserve that much here. There we go. And we'll, I don't know, crosswise a little bit, I guess. 1, 2, I always go 3 times. 3rd time locks it in, and I try and get as many threads as I can. There we go. And we can trim nice and close to our stitches. All right, so let's get more pink. Which, where did that go? Oh, here it is, hiding. Okay, let's grab another, my 24 inches or so. Be a little greedy on it, a little longer. Okay, and then I'm gonna get my 3 strands. Did you pick the, Bailey's wondering, did I pick the pink floss to match your nails? I did a little bit for the nose the other day, but it matches it's like the exact same color just about, which is crazy. And I feel like that always kind of happens. I always end up kind of, all of a sudden, whatever project I'm working on starts to match my nails. Enough. It's happened enough times that I think like subliminally I'm actually doing it. But yeah, this does. It's like the exact color. Alrighty, let's get these 3 strands together. Oh my gosh, you guys, it was like 90 degrees or like high 80s out today. I went for a couple walks and I just about freaking melted on all of them. It's crazy. We went from winter to summer in like a week and a half. It's crazy. Martha's asking how many strands to use. So I am using 3. So 6-strand embroidery floss. That's like your normal stranded embroidery floss or cross stitch thread. It's typically 6 strands, and they're really easy to separate, and that's on purpose. So you can kind of affect how thick your stitches are. And I typically go with 3. Every once in a while I'll do 2 strands, but mostly because I like the loop method of threading or of starting my work. But now we're just doing 3 strands. I think for the giraffe we used 2 strands for a little bit of it. All right, I definitely am greedy with my thread. This is like 36 inches. Usually I don't go above like 24 inches, but not cross stitch. Chain stitch is a greedy stitch though too. It uses a bunch of thread. But yeah, I don't usually go longer than 24 inches just because then my arm's pulling more and all that stuff. Okay, so let's start at the top again. I'm just gonna go just to the inside of this again. Oops, shoot. Let go, there we go. All right. I'm gonna try and, well, I guess kind of like 2 and then 1 to kind of be next to these ones, and then I'll do 2. I did kind of 3 on the edges there, but I think I wasn't doing it the same length. So let's do the sewing method again. I love that. The chain stitch works really well with the sewing method, where you go in and out with your needle in the same movement. Perfectly made for chain stitch, but you do again want your fabric a little more loose in the hoop. It makes it a lot easier for the sewing method. All right, so now this one's going to kind of line up. Should have thought about this beforehand, but this side of it will look nicer. So this one's going to line up with those middle stitches, and then I'm going to do 2 more. So theoretically, I'll have 5 going down, even though I had 6 on this first one, but we're going to pretend we don't see that. Okay, and I think I'm going to do the same thing where I come up on the far side with the reverse chain stitch, and then we'll split the difference in the middle, going back down. So okay, so to go back up from the bottom to have the stitches go in the same direction as these, I'm going to have to do that reverse chain stitch again. So for the reverse chain stitch, I'm starting with my itty bitty anchor stitch. So let's make that tiny, tiny stitch. And then we're going to come up for our first actual chain stitch, coming up at the same height here. All right, so I'm going to go through, just go right underneath that thread. Oh, and Martha, okay, so Martha, I'm reading your question again. How do you know how many strands to use? I was thinking you were asking me how many strands I'm using, but how do you know? That gives me an opportunity to bring out my good old Floss thickness guide embroidery again. I love having this thing out. So, like how I was saying before, embroidery floss comes with like 6 strands in it, and you can separate them easily. And that will kind of determine how many strands you use. Will kind of determine, is one of the determining factors on how thick your stitches are, how thick your lines. So like this is a back stitch for all of these stitches, and these are other threads down here, but 1 through 6 is what 1 strand, 2 strands, 3 strands, 4 strands, 5 strands, and 6 strands look like. And you can see just right off the bat, like 1 is quite a bit different than 6 as far as thickness of stitch. And you can see that up here too, like floss, the word floss is 6 strands, and then this thickness guide is just 1 strand. So that is a big difference. So you can use different numbers of strands in the same piece, and you'll get like, you know, a different vibe throughout the piece, like, you know, thick bold lines next to like really thin little bits. Didn't we do an embroidery recently? Oh yeah, we did the embroidery, our embroidery of the month from a few months ago was called Catnap Under the Jade, and we used different thicknesses of threads to get the effect of like things that are close versus far away. So the things that were close to us, we used thicker strands, or like more strands to make a thicker line, and then the things that were farthest away in that particular piece had very thin lines. So we kind of played with that. In that case, my typical go-to is 3 strands. It's just like a happy middle. You can for sure do 6 strands. I don't often do 6 strands because sometimes, depending on what fabric you're using, it can be pretty tough. First of all, to thread your needle because there's so many strands, and so it's thicker, harder to go through the eye of the needle, and it's also can be difficult to pull through a tightly woven fabric. Our muslin's okay with it, but like if you're using like a quilting weight, like a nice quilting weight cotton fabric, that can be sometimes pretty difficult to pull your needle through. But you know, some really delicate work, I'll use like 1 strand, or like if you're thread painting, 1 strand is often used, or for satin stitches, oftentimes 1 strand is used, but my typical is 3. I like that thickness, and then every once in a while I'll do 2. Like if I have a more delicate piece, sometimes I'll do 2, so I have a little bit more thin line. So anyway, hopefully that answers your question a little bit more. I think I read it wrong the first time. All right, and then back up here. Let's finish this up. So this is actually going to go a lot faster than I thought. It'll probably still take the whole time tonight, but I was thinking, dang, this chain stitch, that's going to just take all like 2 nights to finish, but actually we're filling up this space really quickly, so I'm glad that the one, let's get on the inside here a little bit more, the one column going down the middle. So is that the number of strands doubled over? No, in this case, I'm only using 3 strands, so I'm not, I have the end here, so I'm not actually doubling up my thread. I do that sometimes when I use 2 strands. In that case, I'm using 1 long strand that I'm folding in half to like be stitching with 2. So in this case, I'm not folding it over. Although that is a technique for people if they want to use 6 strands, is to do 3 strands and then fold it over, because then you're only having to thread 3 strands. You don't have to try and get 6 strands through the needle. So you can double it up to get 6 strands. But no, in this example here, it's like a literal 1 strand and a literal 6 strands. If we doubled it up, it'd be like 12. So no, this is just the 6. And this is just the 3. I'm not doubling it up. But when I do stitch with 2 strands, I do often double up a 1 strander to make it 2. Because there's like a fun way to start, called the loop method, a fun way to start your thread. That's basically invisible. There's no like excess thread anywhere or whatever. That's just kind of awesome, but you need an even number of threads. So for that I take like an odd number and fold it in half to get an even number. Alright, last reverse chain stitch, going back up the H. Oh, Gizmo says, thanks, I'm new to embroidery and know nothing. Oh, I am here every evening, Monday through Friday, where we talk a whole lot of embroidery. If you're interested, I do have if you go to my profile, I do have a free pattern, and that free pattern comes with videos and like emails with videos on how to do 14 different embroidery stitches, and the free pattern includes all those 14 stitches. So that would be a good way to start learning different stitches and stuff. For free, if you're interested. But yeah, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions, even if we do like lots of different crafts, but it's heavily embroidery. And even if we're not working on embroidery, I'm more than happy to break something out and do a demo or something if you're wondering how to do something. Even like how to put the fabric in the hoop or anything. Like there's no dumb answer or question. There may be dumb answers by me, but I'll do my best. All right, I think that H looks super freaking cute. I love that we did those stitches all in the same direction. I think that really has a cool effect. It looks like we've knit it almost, right? Ugh, for freaking fun. Okay, like this would be perfect for making a sweater. Like, ooh, wouldn't it have been fun? We should like put a sweater. We did the giraffe last week, but imagine like a little knit sweater all like on him. That would be so cute. Done in the same way. All right, I think I'm gonna, I don't know. What do you think? I'm debating whether to weave in my end and then start fresh here or just jump across the bottom, and I think I'm gonna just jump across the bottom. This is a pretty light color, so maybe who cares? Usually I don't like jumping because like if I hold this up to the light, you can see that that line, but it's a light color, and if I don't hold it up to the light, you can't really see it, so I'm going to go with that once it's in the quilt. No one's going to know. All right, I do want the stitches the same direction as this still, so since I started at the bottom, I'm going to start with the reverse chain stitch again. So we're kind of doing it opposite of what we did before. So I'm starting with my tiny little stitch, my anchor stitch. Oh dang, Bailey says I have my first quilt started, my first crochet blanket started, and now I want to learn embroidery. Oh, awesome. You could put embroidery on both of those things if you wanted. I told myself I can't learn it until I finish one of the other projects first. Oh my gosh. That's like my mentality all the time. I'm like in a panic, finish all the things mode, though, like right now. Like I don't know if you guys saw my TikTok today, but So I was in that tornado warning yesterday, and so we went to the basement. We heard the like tornado siren for the first time in our neighborhood, you know, on a non-test day, so that was kind of creepy, and so we went to the basement, but all my craft bins are in the basement, so I went through my yarn, and I'm just like in use up all the things mode, so this yarn is like from... Some of it's like literally my grandma's yarn, so some of it's like, I don't know, 80 years old or something. But my personal yarn, like some of that is even 30 years old and stuff. And it was just crazy to go through it all again. I kind of separated the wool from the acrylic or whatever else, or like, you know, I guess wool, like animal fibers basically, because there's like mohair and stuff in there too. But man, it was like memory lane going down. Looking at all those, but I've been making like I'm like I feel like I'm frantically in my brain trying to use it all up. So I you know that punch needle project was like thread yarn I just had, and I feel like I used some up there, and now I'm working on a knitting project and a crochet blankie project that's with the goal of using up more yarn. But dang, these projects, I mean, they use yarn, but like I'm finishing them, and like I still have so much yarn left over. So I just feel like I'm never gonna use it all up. But yeah, so I'm just in totally the like I gotta use up all my stuff and finish all these projects mode. I'm almost done with that crocheted baby blanket. I just have to finish tucking in like a few ends. I haven't crocheted a blanket like that in a long time, so that was really fun. And then I'm doing a knit like toy snake, like one of those things so like you put at the door so it's not drafty, but kind of like a toy, because my grandma made one of those, and so I'm making a pal for it. I don't know, but I'm just trying to keep coming up with ways to use up all this stuff, but it's making me start all these projects that now I'm panicking to finish them a little bit. Oh, and speaking of, you guys, I might come on and do like a little marathon on Saturday. I'm not positive. We'll see how it goes. I feel like that's so far away, but it's literally just 2 days. But anyway, I think I'm going to come on Saturday because I'd like to start quilting these guys tomorrow. And if all my quilting stuff is set up on the table here, then I'm thinking on Saturday I'd like to get the granny square quilt out and do a big long quilt session on that. We're so close to being done with that. I just really need to do the outside like decorative border, and then it's pretty minor what we have to do after that. And so I would love to put in a work session on that. So I may come in on Saturday. I've been doing that a lot more lately. I think it's just fun. But yeah, that's my quilt and my crocheted blanket that needs to get done. Man. I'm trying to have the act of finishing those keeping me from, or like finish, like I have that same mentality, like let me finish those before starting a new thing. But man, I'm still wanting to try this tambour embroidery out. And there was some other, like I want to do more tatting, but I am feeling like I gotta finish up some things to just like have my brain clear before working on that stuff some more. I don't know. I keep getting excited about new stuff, and as long as I'm finishing things too, then the anxiety stays at bay, I guess. Cute. I gotta do this more often. I love this little chain all going in the same direction. It's so sweet. All right, now this is gonna be a little kind of goofy. I suppose we'll do single chains like what we did here until like about here. So maybe like 3 or 4, and then we'll just do vertical ones again. And this, just try and keep this arc here. I think it'll work. Who am I making this quilt for? Oh yeah, so this will be a quilt too. This I'm making, I'm gonna sell it. We're gonna have like an auction for it. And then the money from that auction is going to be going to the Minneapolis Crisis Nursery here in town. So this one will be sold, which is crazy. I rarely do that, and I'm getting super attached to it, but I committed to doing that, so I'm still doing it. But I think that's why I kind of want to do the little alphabet book too. But yeah, so this one's going to be sold. We'll do like an eBay auction for it or something. That won't be till like mid next year, because that's how long it's going to be till we're done with this. We're only on letter H, and we're only doing 2 a week, so I think that's going to take us through February of next year or something. But yeah, so this one will get sold, and then we're going to donate the money, the proceeds from that. Okay, I think I'm going to start a new piece of thread here, because I don't think this is going to take me more than 2 stitches, and that's going to be annoying to stop stitches in the middle of my row. But this is freaking cute. These 2 little, or these 3 little stitches here. Man, I need to do a whole project with this. You know what? I'm going to be working on my winter embroideries soon here, like for the new embroidery of the months and stuff coming up. We should do something with a sweater. Like, we need to make one of our winter embroideries needs to be something wearing a sweater. So let me know what you guys think I should do for that, but we gotta do this again, this chain stitch, like all next to each other, because it's just too fun. So I think that'd be the perfect fit for it, like some sort of little dude wearing a sweater that we can do the chain stitch with. Okay, oh, don't I have another piece of this? Yeah, I do. Okay, good. Like, I didn't think we used both yet. So here's my other, I split the 6 strands into 2 sets of 3. This is the other set. Okay, so let's, generous with my thread here. Let's make that a little shorter. There we go. Okay, I'm going to weave in the end in the same spot here, and then we'll pick it up. And we really only have, I think this is like, we have 3 rows left here. Dang, you guys, we're going to be done early, so that's great. So we can do our prep work tonight for quilting these. So we have the H for the hedgehog, and then we have the G for the giraffe, and the F for the fox that we have to quilt yet. So none of those have the backing or anything together, so we can get those together tonight yet, and then tomorrow we'll be able to just quilt. We won't have to assemble anything. That'll be great. Oh, a panda wearing a sweater. Okay, Brittany, I like it. That's right, we were going to do a panda. Haven't done a panda yet. A Christmas panda or a holiday winter panda. A winter panda with pandas. Pandas I don't think are in... I don't know, do they live in the mountains, or would they ever encounter snow in real life? I don't know. But that makes it kind of funny. That'd be fun. I like that idea still. Cute little panda with a sweater. Nothing wrong with that. Alright, I might sketch on that a little bit this weekend. All the winter designs. So, you may have noticed that I've been like holding this horizontally all night. That's because I've been doing the sewing method where I go in and out with my needle in the same motion, and I really can only do that well from right to left. So, like, I don't do it well up to down, like my hands all twisted like this, so that's why I'm holding it goofy tonight. And that's actually probably why I don't usually do the sewing method, but it works so well for chain stitch. And it speeds up the process a ton, too. That's probably why we're done early, is because we're doing the sewing method. Alright, I'm doing the reverse chain stitch up this side, and then we'll do that center one again, like what we did for all these other ones. So we're starting with the tiny little anchor stitch. Oh, the giraffe with the turtleneck. Oh, Catherine says, Chad Kitty in a sweater. Yeah. Chad Kitty. Oh, Amy says, yes, pandas like snow. China mountains are high. Alright. We might have to do panda in the snow. His little sweater on. Oh, Caitlin says my cat's names are Willow and Lily. Those are super cute names. Alright, swoop on underneath there. Oh, Eddie says great therapy. Embroidery like this, definitely. I love doing this at the end of the day. It's just a way to definitely chill out before getting ready for bed and stuff. Alright, one more little stitch, and this, I mean, we're stopping it a little early here because we got like this kind of like arc. Ooh, I'm a little too far over, I think. Let's go like right there, I think. That'll do. Swoop underneath. Oh, dropping the needle here. Clumsy today. It does totally match my nails tonight. Okay, and one more line going down right down the middle. Excellent. So this is like the forward chain stitch again, the normal chain stitch using that sewing method. Just that in and out. And through the loop. Could you like make a sweater with these chain stitches and then like stitch like a snowflake in the middle of it or something? That would be super cute. My strands are kind of separating there, so I'm just trying to get them back together. It's a little down low. Yeah, I'm not going to be that picky. I could be picky and take that out and go like a thread length up, but I think we got it there. Ugh, cute. All right, I'm really happy with those letters. That looks so sweet. So let's weave in the end. And our embroidery is done. So then I need to just grab the backing fabric that we have all cut up already. I'm going to go one more. I'm kind of doing this in a small space here. There we go. But I have the back fabric cut and batting cut already, so we can jump right into there. And I'll just show you guys again what I mean by that, but let's get this guy out of the hoop first, because we got like 15 minutes yet, so we can get ahead on this. Ooh, let me turn the iron on. I think we'll press these first as well. So we have the letter H, and then G that we did last week, and then F that we did last month here. So these three are not quilted yet. Our goal is to quilt them into little squares like this. So this letter E, we have done our little elephant. So this is all machine quilted, and it has the batting and the backing fabric all connected already. Like you can see our stitches on the back here. So it's like a tiny mini quilt. We will eventually, so here's like the letter D. We'll eventually be combining these. We'll be cutting them down to like 8.5 inches. So we are going to kind of crop it a bit. But then we'll be attaching them in the middle here using the quilt as you go method. So we'll have like some bright colors in here of like some fabric scraps that we have to work on yet. But so we'll have, that's kind of the idea. We're quilting them all separately and then sewing them together later. So it's almost like pre-quilting a quilt versus like making the entire top and then putting a huge piece of batting and the huge back piece and then trying to sew a whole quilt together. This is a way that you can kind of easily sew on your like sewing machine at home because it's a lot smaller, so you can practice your free motion stitching and or do like you could hand stitch it as well. But anyway, so this is the goal of these three guys here. We're gonna put the batting and backing on them, and then tomorrow we will quilt them up. So let's. I'm gonna start by pressing them. So my iron's heating up. Let's get my mat out here, and let me get the fabric. Okay. So here's my stack of backing fabric. So I need 3. We've already cut this, and I'll get 3 pieces of batting as well. And then this is our stack for the rest of the quilt. We already kind of pre-cut it. Let me get that out of the way again. Okay. So I think we already pressed that backing fabric. Yeah, all this looks pretty good. So I'm just going to press these really quickly. Yeah, and then we'll baste them together, which just means that we're going to, basting just means we're going to hold all of these 3 pieces together temporarily, and we're going to do that with, like before we sew it together, and we're going to do that with our curved safety pins here. So I got a whole batch of those ready to go, but let's press all these first. Okay, and I'm really just going to kind of go around the edge. Sometimes when I press, I'll get a fluffy towel and I'll flip them over and press the entire back. But I don't have my fluffy towel here. Well, maybe I'll do it anyway. I'm just going to kind of gently go over the top. I don't want to squish all my stitches, so I'm going to try and stay towards the outside here, but I think this is good enough. All right, so there's one. We're basically just trying to kind of get rid of our circle from our hoop a little bit. All let's just get this letter G from the back. Oh, is it beads making the F? No, I'll show you. It is tiny French knot. So I've been going with suggestions from everyone lately too, and I think that's been kind of fun. So, and I'm really liking this letter G. So for the letters on this one, we did a whipped back stitch, which is just a fun stitch, and then we did the turkey work tail. So he's all fluffy and cute. And then the F. The F is a bunch of French knots. So we didn't fill it in all the way, but it does kind of look like beads, doesn't it? Didn't we do beads on something? Oh no, we did metallic thread on the dog. We didn't do any beads. We've been talking about doing something with embroidery with beads though lately, haven't we? We didn't actually do that, did we? I don't think we actually did. Well, I'm cleaning up all my craft stuff, so I'm going to have to bring up some beads sometime, and we'll try and do some embroidery with some beading in. That'd be kind of fun. Okay. Good enough. All right, so I'm just gonna get my cutting mat out here, just because then I'm not scratching my table with the pins. All right, I'm gonna get my first backing fabric. So here's the back fabric. I want the good side facing down. Oh, and my fabric for the back is directional, meaning like if I turn it sideways, then it's obvious that it's sideways, so it's obvious that this can only go in one direction, like this is the top, this is the bottom. Not all fabrics like that. You can have a tossed pattern so that any way you turn it is upright, but this has like a clear up, so I want to make sure that that's up, and then also the good side is going to be facing down. And then I want to put my piece of batting on. So this particular batting is like unbleached, so one side has all the little like flecks in, natural flecks, and one side's whiter. I want that whiter side without all the flecks in up, because I don't want to see it through this fabric. And then this will go up as well, and I'm just kind of centering it all. Ultimately, I'm going to be cutting, this is about like 10.5 inches now. I'm going to be cutting it down to 8.5 inches. I left it big just in case if I wanted to like putz around with the centering of it later. I'm not going to tape this down. With a bigger quilt, I would tape down the edges, but I don't think we need to for this. All right. I'm going to just get a few of these. So these are my basting safety pins. They are curved. You can see the little curve in there. That makes it so it's easier to go like in and out. So I'm just gonna, I don't know what I'm gonna do for the quilting of this yet. Usually I wouldn't want to put these in the way of my quilting, but I don't know how I'm gonna quilt it yet. We'll decide that tomorrow. So I'm just gonna kind of put it around the hedgehog, and then probably out like towards the corners a little bit. We'll do like four corners. The trick is here you want everything to like lay flat next to each other. You want to typically start in the middle of your piece and kind of push outward. Oh, funny, Caitlin. Caitlin says I've binged so many past videos recently. I have no clue what we have talked about recently. Oh, funny. All right, I think we'll put just, I don't know, the 4 edges here. Maybe I won't even do the 4 corners. The edges might be enough. We will see. Get a couple more of these guys out. I feel like there's something in here. I think it's just these flecks. No, it's just a little poofy part of that batting there. We won't notice in the finished quilt. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to bother with the corners. That's probably where we'll start quilting it. This is plenty good. Alright, so this is like the first semblance of what it'll be like in a quilt. So we got the front, the batting, and the back. And this is just going to hang out until tomorrow when we quilt this whole thing. Okay, so let's do the other two. I'm hoping we can do all three. Oops, let's start with the backing fabric. I'm hoping we can do all three in one sitting tomorrow. So I guess it depends what we're doing. All right, so again, top of the piece and flipped with the right side down. I want my batting with the white side, the whiter side up. And let's get this letter G on here. He's so cute. I like his fluffy tail. All right, yeah, let's kind of pin towards the middle a little bit. Go right here. Stabbed myself. Oh yeah, beads for eyes would be super cute. Jeez, stabbing myself now. Alright. Let's get a little behind him here. I don't know. I'm gonna go kind of... I feel like this guy needs more than the other one for some reason. We'll maybe do the four corners on this one. Oh, that's true, Melanie. Oh, you know what? That's where that conversation. So Melanie said beads on a quilt that may go to a baby isn't a good idea. That's why we were talking about beads, because for the dog, I'll get that one out to show you guys, but for the dog, we were going to do beads for the collar, but then someone mentioned that too, that beads for a baby blanket is probably not a good idea, and so we used metallic thread instead, and that's where the bead talk happened. I knew we were talking about that recently. But all right, so this guy's... Oh, did I miss? You know what? I think we're going to put two more in. But I'll show you the dog. But that's... Now my memory's jogged. That's why we were talking about beads recently. But yeah. Yep, we don't want to... Ouch, jeez. We don't want to have... Ooh, I'm bleeding from that one. Dang, you guys, I keep stabbing myself. My hands are so dry, though, too. Okay, I'm going to try and not get blood on my quilt here. These pins keep biting me. Okay, good. I thought I just got blood on it, but I didn't. Okay. Oh yeah, let me show you the dog quick, and then we'll do this hedgehog. Oh yeah, so the dog here we were thinking, oh, we should do beads for that, but then, yep, someone mentioned that, and I'm like, oh yeah, duh, for a little kid blanket. But this metallic thread almost looks like beads. That turned out like so well. That's that Nishikito metallic thread. Okay, last up is our last cloth here. Batting. And the fox. So this one we did the chain stitches all next to each other, but this one we didn't, they're not all going the same direction, and I think that with the hedgehog, with them all going in the same direction, that really made a neat look. And this one, we went around and around in a circle, but I'm like all for those chains going all in the same direction now. It's just so cute. Okay. These guys are going everywhere. Amy says I should get a quick clip tool for closing pins. I know exactly what you're talking about, that kind of like little stick with the little end on to help close. I think my mom got one of those. I wonder if she likes hers. I'll have to try it out there sometime. But yeah, I should get one of those. I've been having a fun time testing out all these different crafty supplies, so that'd be a good one to get. I haven't used one, but I know what you're talking about. All right, we're gonna get the 4 corners on this too. The edges and the 4 corners. Probably over clipping this one, but oh well. Can't over clip, over pin. Just more to take out later, which is annoying. Ooh, we've talked to some people today, though. Some people don't have power, though, from last night, which sucks. Our power didn't go out or anything, so I'm happy about that. Too many extra pins. All right, you two are with me. Oh, and right at the buzzer, right at 9:30, you guys. So, all right, so we got all of these prepared for tomorrow. So I will, tomorrow I will get all of my quilting stuff out. So I'll get the sewing machine out. I'll get my extension table out. I'll make sure that my darning foot or my quilting foot is on the machine. I'll thread some bobbins. I'll get it all set up so we can just sit down and quilt right away. Ooh, and I'll get my, I have that clipboard that we've been drawing, that we've been like practicing our quilting on. So we'll have to get that out to try out a few designs before starting up. I don't have any ideas for these yet. So we'll have to think of some fun ways to quilt this. I'm almost tempted to make like these chain stitch, like a quilting that looks like a chain stitch somehow. I don't know, like doing a whole pile of vertical chain stitches on all this would be kind of interesting. I don't know, we'll have to see. But all right, you guys, that was fun. So here is our finished little hedgie, all clipped up. I really do like how he turned out tonight. So awesome. I think, like I said, I think we'll get these all quilted tomorrow. And then with all the quilting stuff out yet, I am hoping to come on Saturday for a little bit of time to work on the quilting of the granny square quilt. That's what it's called. It has just been sitting around here and we need to work on that thing. We can't let that just sit. That was such a fun project and we can't not finish it. So we'll do that. We'll do some quilting, hopefully on Saturday. In my head, I don't know why I'm not having that like a lockdown thing yet, but let's just say on Saturday I'll be here probably around 11-ish again to do some quilting while all my stuff is out. It'd be a bummer to not quilt without, while all my quilting machines and everything are out. All right, you guys, I think we will call it an evening then. Oh, Adrian says my mom has one of those, the tools, the quick clip tools. She loves it. Oh, good. So handy when pinning a quilt. Yeah, especially a big freaking quilt. That can get super annoying to do all those pins. Ooh, these zombies are flying around. All right, you guys. So thanks again for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Have a lovely, lovely evening. Good night.